Welcome to the 86th annual meeting of the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by the Port of Houston and CenterPoint Energy. Tonight, you will hear about what is to come for us in 2021. Our 2021 board chair, officers, and board directors will be sworn in, and we will kick off the 5th edition of the new digital Buy Black Directory. Before we begin our meeting, Dr. Janice Gilbert, pastor of Blue Ridge United Methodist Church, will open in a word of prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty God, thank you for this day. Thank you for this organization, for this leadership, that they're now coming together this first of the year in 2021. It has been a difficult moment for everyone concerned, but yet and still, Lord God, I pray that they will keep the course, that they will continue to fight the good fight of faith. I pray, Lord God, that resources will continue to unfold for small businesses, for our community, and for our entrepreneurs and partnerships. I pray that rollouts will come and that you will give strategy and purpose, Lord God, that this organization can continue to move on to fighting the good fight of faith. Lord God, bless our communities and help us in this economic downfall, that your hand of mercy and grace may be over us as we proceed out. Grant wisdom and fidelity and purpose for this organization, that it will be strengthened, continuing to do the work that it has been purposed to do, particularly in our Black communities where we need the help. So bless this meeting as you continue to put in strategies and goals. Guide the leadership, direct them, connect them, and create partnerships. We thank you for this meeting. We thank you for grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Greetings. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to serve as chairman of the board for the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce. I thank God for this opportunity. This year I celebrate 25 years in business. It hasn't been always easy. I understand the ups and downs that comes with entrepreneurship, but I also know that amid challenges comes opportunity. Opportunity for growth, opportunity for change, and opportunity to reimagine how to do business better. Forged with a clear path of strategic forward progression, we will approach 2021 with renewed resourcefulness, pliability, and innovation. Continual movement will be key to the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce forward progression. We will continue to take care of the immediate needs of the Chamber membership by helping them persevere while simultaneously assisting the new and upcoming businesses that will emerge from this era. We look forward to the implementation of our strategic plan. In our current dynamic environment, organizational excellence will continue to build and sustain the GHBC reputation as a high-performing organization to advance business innovation and accelerate growth and progress. In the midst of this social movement, we must continue to empower businesses to remain focused on business readiness to ensure we remain prepared for any future sudden market changes. Champion the movement with partnerships that will strengthen and cultivate relationships to optimize resources acquired to assist small businesses. By supporting small businesses, you contribute to a stronger community. Supporting Black businesses, supporting Black consumers, and supporting wealth in the Black community must remain our mantra. Collectively, let us continue our work to improve access to business opportunities and resources for small businesses. To my beautiful wife, Dion, thank you for your love and always encouraging me to step up, and for providing me the support needed to succeed. I love you. My foundation in business started from my parents. They own multiple businesses. One of them was a drive-through convenience store named after me and my siblings that we all worked in. As a kid, I watched my parents build a successful business. But at the same time, I witnessed them helping people along the way, volunteering in the community, and taking on leadership roles in the church. So Mom and Dad, thank you for your support throughout the years and leading by example. I am who I am because of you. And lastly, thank you to the 3 powerful past board chairs, Vernita, who was instrumental in my involvement with the Chamber, Courtney, Carol, and past board members for your leadership. I look forward to working with the newly installed visionary board moving forward. Thank you.
Greetings to our members, supporters, and sponsors of the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce. My name is Carol Guest, and I am thrilled and honored to continue serving the Chamber as your interim president. I look forward to what we're going to accomplish in 2021. As you heard our board chair, Niles Dillard, speak about a little bit earlier, there are pillars of success that he and our board of directors have established, even in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic and the racial injustices that have come to the surface. We are poised as a chamber to continue bringing quality programming to you and to our community, and we want you to work with us in that process. Thanks to our members and supporters who have continued to support the chamber and believe in its mission, we've been able to persevere, and our goal is to help you to persevere as well. We will continue to bring you up-to-the-minute information regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and also discuss any local, state, or federal laws that impact your business in connection to COVID-19. We know that it impacts our daily living, our comings and goings, and we want you to be informed. Knowing the next move is the best defense to make sure that your businesses stay open and that your families are taken care of. Regarding social justice, we are aware and very concerned about what's going on, and we condemn any actions, any statements that would stir up racial strife. Accordingly, we have launched a program called Supporting Those Who Support Us that highlights member businesses and sponsors who have continued to support the mission and values of the Chamber. We want you to support those businesses as much as you can. Regarding our partnerships are the bedrock of what we do at the Chamber. We look forward to strengthening the partnerships that we have and doing community outreach to promote unity in our community and to bring value to our members and sponsors. And part of that value does involve our programming. So you can look forward to seeing favorites such as the Women in Business Conference and also the launch of our new program called Supporting Our Success, which focuses on providing operational help, training, executive leadership, customer service, and a host of other things that can help you grow and sustain your businesses. And for the consumer, we're also going to offer financial literacy training in order to create wealth in our community and support our local economy. Thank you for your continued support of the Chamber. We really appreciate your support, and we really are stronger together.
Good evening. I'm Courtney Johnson Rose, Chair of the Board of the Greater Houston Black Chamber Foundation. And on behalf of our board, we want to welcome you to the 86th annual meeting of the Greater Houston Black Chamber. Wow, 86 years. What an awesome accomplishment for this wonderful organization. We also want to congratulate past Chair Carol Guest on a job well done representing our organization and our community so well. We want to congratulate the incoming directors and officers and welcome our new chair of the board, Mr. Niles Dillard. The GHC Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization and serves as the philanthropic arm to the Chamber. The goals of the foundation are to financially support the initiatives of the Chamber, support efforts to train and develop the next generation of Black entrepreneurs, and to support programs that include the Black community in the Greater Houston area. As we progress throughout 2021, please keep the GHBC Foundation in mind for any of your philanthropic donations. You can access the foundation at the GHBC website, ghbcc.com/foundation. Thank you for attending this evening, and we hope you have a wonderful night.
Please welcome Judge Clarice Rankin Yates to swear in our board of directors.
The position to which you have been selected is one of dignity and importance. In accepting this board position, you undertake a responsibility which is not to be assumed lightly nor carelessly discharged. You are charged with the duties of seriously and resolutely furthering the objectives of the Chamber. With the policies and bylaws as your guide, you must be ever ready to exercise the functions of the board of directors with which you are entrusted. Further, you are charged with governing this organization according to the laws of democracy, under which every person who wishes to speak shall be heard. Toward that end, that is every matter considered, the best option shall prevail throughout the express will of the majority and the best course of action followed. Do you accept the charge? Reply.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Each one will raise your right hand and repeat after me. And when I get to the part where you state your name, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Donald Naylor.
Marguerite Williams.
Devon Smith.
Very good. Do solemnly swear
Do
Do
solemnly
solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
That I will
faithfully execute the duties
of the board of directors
of the board of directors
of the Greater Houston Black Chamber
of the Greater
Houston Black Chamber
and will do the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
serve as a living example
serve as a living
of this organization's philosophy
this
organization's philosophy
and beliefs.
beliefs.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor Turner, thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
We're going to just talk a little bit about some things that our members are concerned about,
Okay.
and just hear what your plans are, what you want to do in 2021. So first off, we're 10 months away from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right.
And cases in Harris County have risen to the red level, which really means that we should try to stay inside as much as possible. Do you anticipate, with the vaccine being rolled out, any more stay-at-home orders coming down from the state level?
I don't anticipate. The governor has made it clear that he's not going to implement any what I call stay-home orders. Now, what has happened, because the situation has worsened, that there have been some automatic rollbacks based on the governor's order. So, for example, restaurants were operating at 75% capacity, but because there was this rolling 7-day average that exceeded 15% in our hospitals of COVID patients, there was an automatic rollback. So instead of being at 75% capacity, they're supposed to be operating now at 50%. When you reach that threshold, all your bars and clubs should be closed, except if they were able to reclassify themselves as restaurants based on the direction of TABC, Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission. And then if they reclassify themselves as restaurants, they can remain open, but also that should be at 50% as well. So we really need people, whether there's a stay-home order or not, people really need to check their behavior. People really need to stay out of these clubs and bars, okay? And if you go into a restaurant and it's too full, you really need to step away, and then you need to keep these masks on, even if you're at a restaurant, until your order comes, or you're getting a drink or something. But when you finish eating, you know how we can stay around at a restaurant and just hang out and shoot the breeze for another hour?
Yes.
If you're going to do that, put the mask back on.
Yes. Can you kind of speak to the economic impact that you've seen this COVID-19 virus have on the Houston economy?
This virus is insidious, okay? It has impacted every business sector you can imagine.
Yes.
So this virus has been tough on businesses. But at the same time, I will say that the PPP program was helpful. The program that's coming down the pipe, And I'm saying to Congress, please be supportive. Don't debate it to death. Don't seek the perfect.
Yes.
It's good. You know, people need the help yesterday.
Right.
So that's been helpful. I'm glad, for example, from the last stimulus programs, the CARES funding, that the city of Houston was able to put $25 million for our small businesses. We ended up helping about 1,100 businesses. On average, their grant was about $30,000.
That's excellent.
And 34% of that number were Black-owned businesses.
And I just wanted to touch on your Resilient Houston plan.
Yes.
That came out in April. And, you know, there's been a lot of discussion about being prepared now. You know, we've had COVID. We're typically prepared and ready. The city does a great job with hurricanes.
Yes.
Never really had to deal with the pandemic before. How far do you feel you've gotten so far as getting the city prepared under that plan?
You know, the goal is to get the city stronger, make it more resilient and more sustainable. And it's one thing to say it, but you have to put the strategies in place to achieve it. I am pleased to say that in February of last year, the Resilient Houston Plan was announced, put forth. There are 64 action items in that Resilient Houston Plan. And then, but we followed up with that with the Climate Action Plan that we announced in April of last year on Earth Day. That is a part of the Resilient Houston Plan. But it's about dealing with, for example, food insecurities. And a part of the Resilient Houston Plan is that recognizing the food insecurities, especially from this pandemic, we partnered with 17 restaurants, primarily in what I call my Complete Communities initiatives. And literally in a 7 to 8 week time period, those 17 restaurants provided food for, well, they provided 200,000 plus meals. But for that program, many of these restaurants would not have been able to make it. And so that's a part of the Resilient Plan. A lot of our flood mitigation projects, for example, are moving forward. The green stormwater infrastructure initiatives, that's moving forward. You heard about the landfill, for example, in Sunnyside.
Yes,
that
congratulations.
Turning that into the largest urban solar farm in the country. 50 megawatts of power, enough to run 5,000 homes. A low-cost energy, green jobs, revitalizing that community, making it healthier, stronger, more resilient. So those initiatives are moving forward. So I'm excited about the initiatives that are in place. And then what I've said to my team, I have less than 3 years left in my term. So we have to move very quickly to get as much as we can done before I know I segue out, but I'm very pleased with the Resilient Houston Plan. It's gotten so much attention, Carol, that last fall I was chosen to be the chairman of the board of the Global Resilient Cities Network.
Congratulations!
So I chair
That's something for all of us to be proud of.
So we'll resilience is big. And then we're hoping to get even added support from the Biden-Harris administration on implementing many of those action items that are part of our Resilient Houston Plan.
You mentioned Complete Communities.
Yes.
And part of our chamber membership is the African American consumer. And we know that without jobs, they can't be consumers.
Yes.
So could you speak to us, tell us a little bit about what Complete Communities is, and then how you see that assisting with racial and economic equity?
You know, we started talking about Complete Communities when I came in office 5 years ago. We really put it in what I call a codified strategy in 2017. And I guess to put it in some context to give meaning to it, after the murder of George Floyd, you know, you had a lot of people that were talking, they were saying defund police, okay? But I think what people were saying is to institutions, cities, states, federal governments, the establishment, don't just invest your money in law enforcement agencies. And then you have to go and police communities that have been underserved and under-resourced, okay? The better strategy is to make substantial transformational investments in communities and neighborhoods that have been overlooked. And if you do that, then you don't have to spend nearly as much in trying to contain, suppress, arrest, and incarcerate. So complete communities is about investing in communities that have been overlooked in terms of housing. And not just what I call just affordable, but mixed income housing. Because in order to get the retail grocery stores, they want to see the rooftops, okay? It's investing in parks and green space. Not just a park with a name on it, but a functional quality parks and green space. It's about economic business job opportunities. And many, let's say, communities where African Americans have lived, years ago, they were your business centers. But things have changed for the worse. So how do we now incentivize and have these businesses back on Martin Luther King, back on Scott, back on West Montgomery and Little York, you know, such that these businesses can then employ people who live in these communities.
Right.
So it's very ambitious, but it's about elevating these communities up, bringing them up, and so that every neighborhood is a neighborhood of promise and opportunity, and such that I don't feel like I have to leave the hood, so to speak, and go across town to partake in the American dream.
Right.
The American dream should be right in my neighborhood.
Just to wrap up, we have the innovation corridor that's going on with the ION. And there's a lot of talk about tech, a lot of interest from our community about contracting opportunities.
Yes.
So we're trying to become Silicon Bayou. So
Yes.
what are your thoughts as far as the opportunities for work and contracting through the ION and the Innovation Corridor project?
I think there are a lot of opportunities. And look, and we are very focused on establishing this ecosystem of digital technology. The ION happens to be the hub that a lot of attention has been drawn to. It is important for it to be what I call open, and not just catering just to one segment. Okay, it's important for it to be inviting. I know there's been a lot of conversation about establishing community benefit agreement there, and we are very much a part of that. But I think there are excellent opportunities there. But even beyond that, and again, I'm gonna go back to the teaser that I gave. A part of that is also generating and raising venture capital to specifically invest in startups of color. Okay? Such that these startups, and they're bright, smart, innovative people of color in our city, but they may not know how to get the venture capital, or they're just not getting the venture capital, and they're not getting what they need in order to succeed. Well, I think we can help there. And who better to help than people of color who are in charge of a venture capital fund, okay? So that way you're not just dependent on just one track, but there are multiple tracks. And that's what we're working on, and I think, and so the goal is to bring that into existence in 21, sooner rather than later. So probably expect an announcement on that in next month or two.
Well, we'll look for that, and we're glad that we've been invited to have a seat at the table, and so we will be there to assist you in what you need.
We need these businesses to be a part of this ecosystem that we're developing. We cannot create another highway, and there are many businesses and businesses of color who can't get on it.
Right. And we're glad that you understand that.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes you so great for our city, your inclusive mindset. So, Mayor, in closing, how can we help you? How can the Chamber help you? And why would it be important for us to assist?
Look, number one, the Chamber is vital to the success of what we do in this city. I've got great people here at the city. but the input, the partnership, the collaboration with the chamber, that's vital, okay? There are businesses within the chamber, many who have done very, very well. They know the struggle. They know the challenge. They know the hurdles. Those hurdles haven't gone away. So it's important for us to get that feedback, that support. But then at the same time, it's important for the chamber to let us know how can we, the city, be supportive to create that capacity, to help put people in businesses in a position where they can scale up. There are a lot of opportunities that will be coming through the city, okay? And, you know, the chamber can help me be a better mayor and the city to be more responsive by simply saying to us, Mayor, these are the priorities that we see from our vantage point. Now, how can we align, okay? And what I would say to the chamber, don't just assume that because I'm African American that I know, okay?
Yes.
Just say, you know, these are our priorities. This is what's important to our members and those who we seek to be members. And then let's see how we can partner and align. And then where the chamber can help and where we can help each other is to continue to grow others to become members, because we are just much more powerful to the people who are depending on all of us when we're working very closely together. I'm giving you an invitation to the table.
Yes, sir, and we'll take it. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. 21 is the year. 20
Yes,
is
sir.
gone.
Yes.
21.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
This concludes our annual meeting. Thank you, Mayor Turner, for your unending support. Make sure to save the date for the 2021 Pinnacle Awards and be on the lookout for upcoming events. The Chamber would like to congratulate President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris on their historic win. We would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the hardworking elected officials who champion the Chamber's platform on the federal, state, and local levels, and most especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you to our sponsors, the Port of Houston and CenterPoint Energy. We invite you to support the Greater Houston Black Chamber with your donations and becoming a member. Finally, get your digital copy of the 5th edition of the Buy Black Directory. Thank you for spending your evening with us.